Now I did cut this slightly longer than most blanks that you buy. Now I have actually bought some blanks and they were a little bit longer than this. But anyway, this seems to be about the standard length. And I thought I'd better have it just a little bit too long than a little bit too short. Anyway, I think you probably figure out what this is for. This is going to form the cavity in the mold. So what I want to do now is I just want to round over these sharp corners just a little bit here. I'm not going to do the bottom because the bottom is going to be right against the mold. I'm going to do this one differently. The other one I dipped the form into the molding material. This one here, I'm going to have it on the bottom, and I'm going to fill the mold and have it come maybe a quarter of an inch or so higher than this. And I think it's going to work a lot better. I'm not going to have bubbles forming on the top. Oh, by the way, this little sanding block, it's nice. It's from a place called Lee Valley. Maybe you can get them from other places, but it's overpriced. I'm going to use CA thin here just to reinforce the ends. And then I'll use medium to paint the sides. Just let that soak in. I'll be able to sand it really smooth. You will obviously hear that I started up my room air cleaner. I didn't want to be breathing in those fumes, and the air cleaner circulates the air around and keeps them away from my face. Now I did use the spray and cure on the medium because it was taking an awful long time to set here. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take off all the high points with the number 400 here. Oh, by the way, this is not the famous green towel, this is the other one. Used to have 4 of these. Okay, now I'm going to do it again. And my makeshift handle that works really well. Now surprisingly, the CA glue has not set, and that's got to be at least 10 minutes. Might be setting a little on the end, but I can still use this. Oh, better turn my fan on. Now because I want this coat to stay on the surface, I'm going to use the curing agent. Now it could be I'm going to regret this, but I'm going to also put a final coat of thin on. Just see what happens here. I don't think I'll have to use the curing agent on this one. It's setting already. Yeah, I'm going to leave well enough alone now. Well, it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. Good enough for what I'm doing anyway. So my thinking now is that if I run a bead of medium all the way along the edges and then put it in and press it down in the right place, well, it should make it pretty well, I was going to say waterproof, so that the molding doesn't get onto the inside. But if it does, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, here we go. Okay, that looks pretty straight. At least it does from my perspective. Okay, so I press down hard and then take the curing agent and get it in there. That's more than enough. Okay, just hold that down tight for a while. I know you can't see it too good, but now I realize I didn't do a very good job of showing how I made that mold out of this coroplast. So I'll just take this little scrap piece here and show you. It cuts very easily. Okay, so then what I did was I cut all the little pieces to the right size. There's only 5 of them. And then I just used CA medium along the edge and then spray and cure. And it went quite fast, probably less than half an hour. Anyway, I thought I'd better show you. I did all the calculations in metric, and that way I came up with cubic centimeters. In other words, I measured the volume of this box less the volume of this form, and comes out to 246.3 cubic centimeters, or 246.3 milliliters. Now that's almost this thing right full. This is 250 when it's to the top there. It's almost like a cup. Or to where I've drawn the line here on this larger container, because it'll be a lot easier to mix in this than it will in this. Anyway, I mix this up a ratio of 10:1 by volume. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this up almost to the line, to the arrow, with the mold making rubber, and then I'm going to add the 10% of this by volume, and it's going to give me a little extra, I know that, but I realize that when I go to pour it, some of it's going to be sticking to the inside anyway, and because I'm planning on degassing this, I might lose a little somehow by doing that if I spill it, or who knows. Anyway, I'm going to make slightly more than I need. Yeah, and that's the next step. I realize that a lot of you saw the clock, and you know that probably right now it's only about 1:45 in the afternoon. And I know that I probably could easily, mix this up and do the rest of it today. But, I want to enjoy doing this, and I'm starting to get a little bit tired. I'm not complaining, but by the time I get this edited out and uploaded onto YouTube and so on, it's going to be later in the afternoon. And I like to enjoy myself down here. So We'll see you tomorrow. You too, Jackson.